Good morning, church. The birds are singing once again in the background. Definitely spring in the air. This Sunday at our church, we studied Luke chapter 5, 1 through 11, where Peter submits to Christ after this great catch of fish. Fishes all night, catches nothing. Jesus teaches a few minutes on the front of his boat and tells him to drop the net. And we talked about Peter's struggle to obey, but he was objectively obeying. Lord, we fished all night, caught nothing, but at your word. And that obedience was what got him this blessing of great haul of fish. As soon as that happens, Peter realizes in verse 11, verse 8, Jesus can control nature, and the divinity of who was really standing on his boat got to him. He realizes this is a God man. And listen to verse 8, just the one I want to emphasize this morning with you, 8 through 11. But when Simon Peter saw that, he fell down at Jesus' feet, saying, Go away from me, Lord, for I am a sinful man. For amazement had seized him and all his companions because of the catch of fish which they had taken. And so also were James and John, sons of Zebedee, who were partners with Simon. And Jesus said to Simon, Do not fear. From now on you will be catching men. When they had brought their boats to the land, they left everything and followed him. So I just want to remind you from Sunday's message at the end, there's three things that are part of realizing who Christ really is. When you get it, first there's going to be this great humility. Peter had this great humility. He literally fell on his face before the feet of Christ and said, You need to go away from me. He recognized his own sinfulness alongside the holiness of Christ. So let us never forget how great the holiness of Christ is and how far from that holiness we are. Christ is very, very perfectly, purely holy, and we struggle to get there. So you recognize the humility, so you acknowledge the humbleness of Peter in this story. And then secondly, it says, verse 9, amazement seized him and all his companions. Do you live in amazement of all the great things that God does and works around you? God works around us all day, every day. And do you live in amazement of those things, seeing the hand of God guiding things? Even the hard things are for our good. And then third, he left everything to follow Christ. As soon as he was humbled, amazed, but then he just followed. And he had to put down his career, his fishing career, to follow Christ. He left his nets. Are you willing to follow Christ by leaving you and your stuff behind? I believe when God calls a man or a woman to fully surrender and follow him, we have to put some things away, put some things down, leave them behind for good. And I mentioned it on Sunday, but some of us love to cling to things that's not helping us get where we need to go with our walk with the Lord. So just a reminder from Luke chapter 5, 1 through 11, let's live in humility. Let's live in amazement of who Christ is to us every day and all the miracles that God does around us and through us and in us and for us. And then let's surrender everything. Let's drop everything that we need to drop and follow him fully. Hope you guys are blessed. We'll see you back tomorrow.